So this morning, we wanted to continue the conversation and we want to talk more about sexual misconduct in our nation and what women in the workplace can do.
Joining us now to talk about this is Katie Hall. First of all, good morning, Katie. Thank you very much for being here.
Good morning.
Before you tell us about the training that you offer, can you talk about how this all started for you, because you have a story too?
Absolutely, and I think that most women have a story. So 2002, I'm going to date myself a little bit. I was in college, undergrad, 20 years old, and I was working for a 4-star restaurant in Troy, Michigan. And back then, Troy was the second richest county in America. And in this restaurant, it was male dominated in back of the house, and I was a waitress, paying my way through college, first generation. So this job was serious for me. And I remember this guy was second in command. He was the man, quote unquote. He just got Employee of the Year, and he came off his shift and he sat at the bar. And he had on his uniform, took his hat off, and he made a comment. And my name's Keila, my legal name. And he said, Tequila, if you really want to make some real money, you should come hang out with me and my friends after work. And when he made that comment to me, that 19-year-old girl, I was nervous. I didn't want to say anything. And I talked to my boyfriend, which is my husband now, and I was like, oh, he's like, you got to say something.
Yeah.
And I went back and I talked to the general manager. And when I told him about it, he was upset because it was his best friend. And I think the most important thing is that he said, I appreciate you coming to tell me. After the investigation happened, it came out that other women, other girls at that restaurant came out as well and said something, that he was terminated. You know, the man at this organization, loved by men, women, children, he was terminated. And I applaud that general manager, which was a male as well, because he took action. And that's something that I think that we all need to consider doing. It doesn't matter what side of the table you're on, if you're a male or a female. It's important that we listen and that we use our voice.
And I applaud you, because that takes a lot of bravery to step up to the man and say something and not knowing if an organization is going to back you or who's going to back you. So what do you do now? How have you turned that into your life's goal?
Yeah, and so that happened many times in my career, as I'm sure it happened in many women's careers as well. It happens continuously, right? And men as well, it happens to them too. So I took that along with other experiences throughout life, and me and my husband co-founded Katie Hall Foundation, as well as the Katie Hall Communications. So we look at handling sexual harassment and just training in general on two ends. We look at it holistically. So within our business, we work with corporations, with the current workforce. We do trainings such as crucial conversations, conflict management, and strategic planning. One organization in particular is Inspired Development Center. They said it was okay to bring their name up today. And I love them because they take their training pretty serious. They invest into consultants coming in and working with them with their strategic planning. And Inspired Development Center is dominated by women. However, not women in upper leadership positions. And so they're investing into those women being into upper leadership positions by providing them with appropriate trainings. So that's one end of it. Now, our foundation, which King 5 does a great job at covering our foundation a lot, the foundation focuses on the future workforce, and that's when we work with the college girls. And now starting in 2018 with Highline Schools, the middle school and high school girls.
What if you're already in the workforce though, and your company does not say get certain training? How can someone get training on their own, or just be informed about like the steps that they should be taking?
That's an excellent question. There's so many different ways of doing that, and in particular in our foundation, that's why we offer conferences and workshops, because the conferences and the workshops, that gives you an opportunity. It doesn't matter if your company is covering that. And we actually offer a few workshops for free at no cost, usually in March during Women's History Month. And in those conferences, we have leaders across male-dominated fields such as law enforcement, such as STEM careers, speaking about how they elevate their careers in those male-dominated professions. And so we offer those.
We've really been talking about how this is changing the conversation across the board for everyone, men and women in various forms, in family and life, and in the workplace. So this is something that everyone can do. But the question is, we're both parents.
Yes.
Where do we want to see this go from here?
It's going to take a lot of change. And I believe even if we move the needle this much, we have done our job. And so that's the reason why the investment in the future workforce is so important. So people who are already in corporate now, what you can do is you can come and be a speaker at one of these conferences. You can speak to those young girls in middle school, high school, or college. You can donate your corporate dollars because, of course, as we know, it takes funding to be able to continue to provide these type of workshops for the younger generation. And I honestly don't think that we're going to see it totally change in our lifetime. Yeah. However, if we can move that needle this much, we have done our job. We have done our job. Yeah, and I think that's the important piece. And, who knows, this might be a boy, right?
Right.
And it's as important that men and boys also, be able to speak up and have a voice, because my boyfriend then, which is my husband now, he was part of the reason
Yes.
why I spoke up. And so men, you have a voice in this too. You do.
So much of this, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but when I told my story, so many people told me, a lot of men contacted me saying thank you. And then also a lot of men saying, well, what can we do?
Exactly.
What can we do now?
And that's why we have male allies. Like everything that we do, and I don't mean to talk so much about the foundation, but everything we do in the foundation, men are as important in this movement and because this has been happening for hundreds and hundreds of years.
And we should mention men are victims too. So
They
that's
are,
very important.
yes.
We're
Yes.
seeing more women come out, but
they
there
are.
incidents when men are victims.
Oh, they are. Yes, they are, especially when they're in female-dominated professions, right? Nurses. And if they're administrators at different places. So it's very important. I think that this is a conversation that every person has a voice
Every
in.
person.
And a
Absolutely.
responsibility.
In a
for
responsibility. Yeah, I love all the work that you guys been doing too with covering this. I just think that it's important. And that's one of the things I love about King 5, because you're not afraid to have these conversations with the community.
We certainly aren't, and that is for sure. And thank you so much for coming in today and sharing this. And how can people get a hold of you if they want to find out more?
One of the best ways to get a hold to me, we always give out the website, but call us directly, 206-966-2198, 206-966-2198, or they can go to our website at kdhallfoundation.org or kdhall.com and learn more about the trainings that we offer. But like I said, we're covering this thing on both angles. It's a systemic thing that has to happen here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure to talk
It's
to
great
you.
to see you.
You too.
Thank you so much for being here. My goodness, I mean, it really is something that I'm glad that we are taking on head on here at King 5, and makes you proud to work somewhere.
And we're going to continue these conversations as well.